Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking closely at some sources you shared that reveal a really interesting link, maybe one you wouldn't expect, between infections and different kinds of anemia.
That's right.
So our mission here is just to pull out the key insights, the surprising connections from this material.
Yeah, and you're going to find that pathogens you might just associate with, say, a fever or something can actually hit your blood health pretty hard.
Okay, so the sources show it's not just one thing causing one problem. It's complex. You've got bacteria, viruses, parasites, maybe even fungi playing a role in different anemias.
Exactly. It really depends on the specific bug and how it messes with your system.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this. The material kicks off linking some infections to iron deficiency anemia. Now, most people think diet, maybe blood loss, right?
Usually, yeah.
But these sources point to specific parasites, hookworms, like Ancylostoma duodenale and Nectar americanus. That seems, pretty unexpected for iron deficiency, doesn't it?
It really does. It highlights just how varied the impacts can be. These specific hookworms, they live in your gut, and they literally feed on blood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so over time, this kind of chronic blood loss from the infestation, it leads straight to iron deficiency and then the anemia. It's a very direct route.
So these tiny things are just like consuming your resources. Okay, what about hemolytic anemia? That's where your red blood cells get destroyed too quickly, right?
Correct. Faster than your body can make new ones. And the list of infections involved here is, it's incredibly diverse.
What kind of things are we talking about?
Well, you've got some you might expect, like malaria and Babesia microti. Those are kind of famous for getting inside red blood cells and bursting them.
Okay, the direct attack method.
Exactly. But it's not always that straightforward. The sources also list bacteria like Mycoplasma pneumonia that causes walking pneumonia sometimes, and viruses too, like EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, and HAV, hepatitis A.
So how do those cause red cell destruction? It's not direct invasion, is it?
Usually not. In many of those cases, the infection sort of triggers your immune system, and then the immune system mistakenly attacks and destroys your own red blood cells. It becomes an autoimmune reaction almost.
Ah, I see. Immune-mediated.
Precisely. And the sources add others too, like bacteria Bartonella bacilliformis and Clostridium perfringens, which can release toxins harmful to red cells, and even other parasites like Trichuris and Schistosoma, lots of different mechanisms.
Okay, so some eat blood, some trigger self-attack, some use toxins, different tactics, same outcome. Fewer red blood cells. Now, what about megaloblastic anemia? That's usually tied to problems making red cells properly, often B12 or folate issues.
Yes, exactly. And the sources link this one specifically to a parasite, Diphyllobothrium latum. It's the broad tapeworm.
A tapeworm?
A really big one, yeah. It lives in the intestine, and it's incredibly good at absorbing vitamin B12 from your food before you can.
So it steals your B12.
Pretty much. And since B12 is vital for making DNA, which you need a lot of for new red blood cells, this theft causes a B12 deficiency. That leads to those large, underdeveloped, ineffective red cells typical of megaloblastic anemia.
Fascinating. A parasite causing a vitamin deficiency that leads to anemia. Okay, lastly, aplastic anemia. This one sounds serious. The bone marrow itself isn't making enough blood cells.
Yeah, this is a severe one where the blood cell factory, the bone marrow, significantly slows down or stops. And the list of infections connected here is quite broad again. Viruses seem to be major players.
Those ones?
The sources mention CMV, EBV, again, VZV, that's chickenpox and shingles, HIV, HHV6, hepatitis C, dengue virus too.
And didn't they highlight parvovirus B19 specifically? I feel like I've heard of that one causing temporary blood issues.
Absolutely. Parvo B19 is, it's known for directly targeting the precursors to red blood cells in the bone marrow. It can cause a temporary shutdown of red cell production, which is especially dangerous if you already have a blood disorder.
Right.
And other viruses like HIV or Hep C, they can affect the marrow more through chronic inflammation or other sort of indirect pathways.
And it's not only viruses causing these marrow problems based on the sources.
No, that's right. The material also points to bacteria like M. tuberculosis and Rickettsia, and even the parasite Leishmania donovani. These can suppress marrow function through different inflammatory or immune processes.
So looking across all these iron issues, B12 theft, red cells being destroyed, the marrow itself failing, the clearer picture from this material is, infections aren't just isolated events. They can directly cause or contribute to very specific kinds of anemia.
Yeah, the type of anemia you might end up with often depends heavily on how that particular pathogen messes with your blood production or red cell survival.
It really underscores how interconnected everything in the body is. An infection seemingly targeting one area, gut, blood, marrow, can have these significant knock-on effects. So I guess the big takeaway here is that infections from tiny parasites to common viruses can have a really profound and quite specific impact on your blood health, leading to these distinct types of anemia.
It really makes you pause and think, doesn't it? Just consider how closely linked different body systems are, how something like an infection, which you might think of separately, can ripple through and affect something as basic as your blood count. It certainly makes you think twice about the hidden consequences of these microbial invaders.